G'day everyone, it's Lishan, hope you're well. Today's topic, we're going to be covering how to book sales calls using a sales webinar. Now, most of you have either been on a webinar, run a webinar, co-hosted a webinar with someone, so you kind of understand how webinars work. But most of you, when running a webinar, will provide a whole lot of education and at the end of it, hoping to get some sales calls, but most of the time it never ever happens. So today, I want to share with you our framework. I want to share with you our process that our clients are using in terms of other financial advisors and brokers and coaches are using, and including ourselves. We use this exact process to book in more sales calls. So before I go any further, a couple of things I want to share with you. Firstly, I want to go through this reasonably quickly. We're going to deep dive into a particular topic, which is sales webinars today. At the end of today, I'm going to share with you a link and tell you where to go and get some more information and some additional recordings to this particular webinar. And that's kind of it. Make sure you download the worksheet. That is really important because we're going to be working our way through it. I want you to kind of follow it because in the next 15-20 minutes, you're going to have a sales webinar worksheet that you've already worked through with me right now, and it's going to make life a lot easier. Now, when running webinars, there's a strategy I love. Now, let me tell you, there's two types of webinars you can have. One is a live webinar where you're having interaction with a lot of people, which is great. I love it. The challenge I find with running live webinars is trying to drive people into those actual days and events in terms of when they are available. So trying to find the right time can be very difficult. However, what I love doing is running what I call evergreen webinars. So creating a webinar like I'm doing today, recording it, giving it out to the world and getting people to access it any time of the day. And then what I do is once they've gone through this particular webinar and they're liking it, I will then invite them to a live event where we dig even deeper into a particular topic or, maybe a couple of hours working together. So that's my kind of strategy. Evergreen first, build up the audience, build up the know, like, and trust part of it, and then bring them into a live webinar event. We've been running this for a number of years, and that strategy works. It's worked 5-6 years ago, and it's working today. So let's get into it, and I'll just share my screen. Bear with me. Okay, let's do it. So 3 key elements to running a sales webinar. The first one is filling up the webinar. So getting the right people in there, having landing pages, etc. I'll touch on this in a little bit of details shortly. Building an authority and webinar delivery. So let me just touch on it right now. So when it comes to filling up a webinar, you want to have the right message, the right audience, the right campaigns, knowing where your audience hangs out, the key marketing channels that you need to use, and having a landing page where they can kind of opt in or have access to the actual webinar itself. The next part of it is building authority. So having pre-webinar content, so nurturing the leads before the webinar, post-webinar, so after they've gone through the webinar, basically nurturing them if they haven't already booked a call with you and having a chat. Now, there's a lot of people out there that, they don't want to wait for the webinar because your topic is so awesome that they see the problem, they want an answer to it, so they want to have a chat. So one of the things we do is help teach our clients how to do that, how to move them a little bit quicker into a chat situation. Today, we're going to cover off webinar delivery. Why am I covering up webinar delivery? It's because you can create this and put this out to the world and just have there, whether it's giving it to partners, getting your prospects to actually have a look at it. Again, remember, using it as an evergreen webinar. This is why I want to focus on this particular topic. You can record it and put it out to the world, and it can be there for ages, delivering you leads. All right. So, like I said, please download the webinar content stack spreadsheet, worksheet. We're going to be walking through step by step. At the end of it, you're going to have your sales webinar template ready to go. So there's 3 big ideas I want to share with you The first big idea is teaching a hot topic. A lot of advisors and brokers out there are not sure what to teach, or they teach something that's kind of bland and just doesn't get the interest. Because what you want to do is get awareness, get people, reviewing or viewing your webinar. If you're running a live event, you want them to be booking in. You want them to, them to give you your detail, give them their details, their name, their email address, even maybe joining your Facebook group or something similar like that, something like that, for them to access your webinar. So you want to teach a super hot topic. I want to share with you the model and framework we use on this right now. One of the key things is to show off your model. Too often we just provide a webinar and go, hey, this is a key topic, and we just blurt out, educate a lot, educate. People get a whole lot of information, get overwhelmed, and then at the end of it, we try to sell something, and then they kind of go, hey, don't sell me anything right now. I just still trying to process everything. The reason people have that in their minds is because we haven't mapped out the model that they for them to understand. And what I mean by model, it's like a triangle model. So I share with you at the start the model piece of ours, which is a triangle model, right? Come back to that a little bit later. You want to be sharing your model. So it's, for example, I'll show you, it's filling up, it's building authority, and webinar delivery, which gives you a sales webinar. I've already mapped out the 3 key ingredients you need to run a successful sales webinar. What I've said to you, we're going to be focusing on one particular topic today, right, which is webinar delivery, which actually means, and when you do this, your audience is going to be thinking, okay, I want this result. It's exactly, it's hitting all the pain points for me, my hot buttons. I know we're focusing on this today, but obviously there's 2 other key elements that we need to focus on. But you guys are going to be focusing on one particular today. They're going to be going, wow, there's a whole lot of pieces to this puzzle. I need to know more details. So that part of it there will get them going, there's a few missing elements, and I need to kind of pay attention to what you're saying. So you want to be showing the model and only focusing on one part of it. But they'll be going, oh no, there's a fear of missing out. They go, oh, I need a whole lot of information before I can actually move forward. What ends up happening, people will start raising their hands and asking for more information on your process and things like that. But you've just given them a very high level of what they need to do. Like I've done today. I've just showed you our model on what is going to be, what works, and I'm sharing that in detail with you right now. And we're going to dig deep into webinar delivery. You also notice once you pick a particular topic, so as a webinar delivery, you can set the top here. Let me just move my head out of the way. I said the key topic is sales webinars and webinar delivery. Sales webinar, that's the topic we're going to focus on. And so I'll put that at the top there. And the accelerator is called webinar delivery. So when you're filling this out now, you can just pick a big topic and then dig deep into one. Now, if you haven't got a model, try and map out a model yourself. One of the key things we do with all our clients is the first thing is to work on their audience and then work out their model in order to help them get the result for their clients. And it could be a roadmap, it could be 10 steps or whatever you feel is going to work for your audience and the problem that you solve. But right now we're going to focus on this hot topic. Now, the next thing we're going to be doing is focusing on the stretch. What I mean by stretch, it's the siren moments that goes off in someone's head. So the siren moment is when you're teaching and they kind of go, uh-oh, I don't understand that. I need more information on that. Actually, that's what I'm doing. I need to stop doing that. You want those moments. Actually, you know what? That's a problem I'm having right now. I really want, I don't want to have the problem anymore. I want this. That's what you want to be doing with them. So what I call it stretch the gap. And stretch the gap is basically telling them where they're now. So these are the problems that they're having right now. So you want to go, three problems. You want to share kind of three problems that they're having. So I share with you, you're not booking sales calls, you're probably educating a lot of people and just not getting them to take the next step, or your webinars are kind of just all over the place and there's no kind of structure. That's what I share with you. You just want to be talking about the problems that they're in right now. Then what you want to be doing is talking about the future, right? How can you help them move away from the problems they're having now to the future? What do they want? What are they, they want to, for example, book more sales calls, they want more structure, they want to be able to get this out there and have it working and driving leads whenever they want. So what would your wants be? Again, you can pause me right now and write down all the problems and the wants, right? What you want to be doing once you've done that is then really digging deep into those problems. Do they really want to be doing that right now? What I like to do is use a red, amber, or I think in America, yellow, and green system. So like a traffic light system, right? What are the key problems you're having right now? Which are the burning ones? Put a red around it. Which are the ones that you seem to have a good control of right now? It's not a big issue. Just put a green right now. And the ones that you're kind of unsure of, you put the amber / yellow around it. So this is the part where they are self-assessing where they are at. Because later on, this is going to be super helpful for you. Then what you want to be doing is teaching 3 key points. You could teach 5, you could teach more, but we found, and our clients have found, that teaching 3 key points is the way to get them educated and get them understanding. That one is that you've got a good understanding of their problem and you're able to help them. So just teach 3 particular points. Okay. So today I went through and said, look, we're going to teach you how to find a hot topic. I'm going to teach you how to stretch the gap, which is the siren moments. So this is stretch the gap, the siren moments there. And I'm going to teach you how to invite someone so it doesn't feel so salesy in a webinar. I'm going to teach you how to invite someone to take the next step with you. But we're going to come back to that a little bit later. So you map out your 3 points, you talk about your 3 points. As you can see, my slides are very simple. They're not bullet points all the time because I find that kind of loses people. So you want to have very simple slides. Then what you want to be doing is creating a worksheet. The worksheet, it could just be a PDF, like I've done here today. I've just given you a template, a framework to use. You could create something like that. You can give them a questionnaire. You can give them the guide. And just so you know, we have a guide to this as well, which you'll access at the end of today. I'll give you the link. But you want to create a guide or something like that they can just download and access and work through. When they do that, again, it's getting them to think about the problem. Plus, when they download it, they've got it. They'll come back to it later if they haven't already, doing it as you're talking through it, and you'll be there for them. So it's kind of the book or it's the authority part that you want to be producing. And generally speaking, a really quick way to do the worksheets and is to basically take your slides and condense them and just give them one particular framework they can use. Next, the case study. The case study is super important when running a webinar. You want them to put themselves in someone else's shoes for a second. And this is what you're going to be doing. You're going to ask, you're going to say, hey, I've got this person, Tim, had this particular problem. He was, this age, you kind of go to a little bit of high level of their situation, what the problem was, what was the impact it was having to their lives, and then the fix. What did you do to help them get out of that particular problem? So it could be getting out of debt. It could be helping them find their home that they've been looking for maybe 18 months or something like that. It could be something like maybe picking wrong investments, and this was the problem they were having, and this is the mindset that we had to do in order to get them to the next level. So now you talk about the fix. Then you talk about the impact of the fix. The fix is like kind of saying, we fixed this, and now the person's generated X amount of dollars. Maybe it could be they're into the new home, they started a new family, they're retired a little bit earlier, that kind of thing. I know you can't go into too much detail on specifics to a person because you're going to be saying this particular person from California, etc., did this. You just want to give it a very high level, but a problem either you help solve a problem that maybe you have found yourself in, or the problem that you're trying to solve for someone right now. Right? So that's a really easy way of getting a case study done. Now it brings us to the invitation part. And I love this part. So the invitation part is the part where you're trying to get them to book a call with you, right? You want to provide a summary, right, of your webinar. So we've covered 3 key things today, X, Y, Z, for example. We covered hot topic, siren moment, and invitation. I'm going through it right now, but you kind of get the gist of it. You say, hey, here are the 3 things we covered. What are the 3 learnings that you have taken out of today? And you ask that question exactly like that. And then say, what are the actions you want to be taking as a result of those learnings? And you get people to write it down or type it up. And it could be part of your worksheet where they're kind of writing it out. And then you ask this question, what impact will it have if you were to make those changes in your business, in your life? What impact would it have to your family? All of a sudden, they're now thinking is, if I took action today, then I know the impact it's going to have. Right? So that's the key part. Now, wait for it, is the promise. Now, you would have noticed at the start of today, I said to you, I'm going to deliver you a couple of key things. One is I'm going to give you a short overview on how to run a sales webinar, which is my promise. And I said to you, I'm going to give you a link, at the end of today, and some guides on how to take this to the next step, right? You want to promise it at the start, okay? The introduction. So you say, hey, it's Lushen here. Today, I'm going to be sharing XYZ topic. You're going to be getting ABC out of today. At the end of today, I'm going to give you a link on where to get some more information, how to download it, or get specific access to this. Notice I haven't sold the call just yet, because what you want them to do is actually just put their hands up. And this is where you kind of get them to say, if you like some help further with this and you do not want to wait to take action, so you don't want to wait and you want to take action today, by all means, send me an email, message me right now, and we can basically have a conversation just by chat. I'm not trying to sell the sales call. I'm trying to sell the sales chat first. When I start chatting to people, I will then book them into a call. Now, we've got a different webinar. You can check out our Facebook group called Financial Warriors. In there, it shows you how to use the chat. I'm always trying to get people into the chat first, because no one's going to marry someone straight away when they meet. So you want to kind of build up the authority. You want them to know you, like you, trust you, and then get them to slowly take the next step, which is a chat, and then from the chat, move on to a sales call, which is generally 15 minutes. We call it a strategy call, much better because there's more outcomes in a strategy call than it is just a sales call. Sales call is more about me. You don't want that. You want but a strategy session where they get something out of it and you as well to understand their problem. So you're asking for permission. And when you're closing the curtains, this is the part where you just say, hey, here's the link I'm going to give you right now. I promised you XYZ. Here's the link. Or if you want more information, you can reach out to me right now. My WhatsApp number or my Facebook group, go to this particular one. That's how you run a sales webinar. So let me just cover it off for you. We've gone through quite a lot today. How to choose a hot topic. So I've told you, you want to create a model. You want to create a model. Even it could be a roadmap on a particular problem that someone's having on how to get there. You want to be able to show them that you have a model, show them that they can take the next step with you, show them the topic that you're covering. Now, pick the sexiest topic that there is that's going to give you the most amount of eyeballs, attention, basically, and get them to show them. You got to show them basically, this is what we're going to be doing. We're going to be doing this. But guess what? We won't be able to cover step 1, 2, and 3. We'll cover 4 today. 5 and 6, 7 is also required, but let's just focus on number 4 today. All right. So again, showing them the missing elements gives them the I know there's a lot to it. You're covering today. You've mapped out what I need to do, but I'm going to need some more help. The siren moments are happening. Right. This is why we call the stretch the gap there. These are the siren moments. Where are they now? What are the problems they're having? What are the future? What are their wants? And then you want to stretch that and go deep into some of those things as much as possible. We talked about creating 3 topics, so don't create more than 3 topics because you could have 10 and this webinar becomes way too much. You want to keep it to under 50. I say 15, 20 minutes is a great webinar, as long as it's full of quality and high valued information. You want to be creating a worksheet, which is just using your slides, so don't overthink it too much. You want to provide a case study on a particular problem and how this particular person went through it. And then you want to show them the actions they're going to take, what are the learnings, and then invite them to take the next step with you. Firstly, remember using those words. I promised you at the start where you can get some more information, XYZ, go and grab it. Yeah. All right. Now, for me to say, if you want more information on this, we're going to be putting this into our Facebook Warriors Facebook group. Join in there. If you're already in there and you're watching this right now, you want the link, just put your hand up, just say webinar delivery, or just give me an emoji on this particular post, and I'll get that across to you, the actual link itself. That's it for today, guys. Hope you got a lot out of it. Appreciate your time. We'll continue to keep sharing as much content as possible to help you grow your financial advising and financial broking or financial coaching business. Take care for now. All the best. Bye.